It's finally time, folks. It's finally time. He's here. He's a day late, and the box was heavily destroyed, as you may have seen in the intro to this. But he's here. He's finally here, and I could not be happier. But I also have some extreme anger with this thing. But I will get into that. First, let's take a look at the detail of this thing. Like, just look at the head. I mean, look at that. This is unmistakably the Hush Batman. Like, this is ripped right out of the freaking pages, man. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. You can see it's like some weathering on the boots, which kind of fades into a weird gray. It's very strange. Not sure why. You can see my boots are not that painted that well. That's all right. Not that big of a deal. But they're painted well enough, and you can see there's like a dry brush throughout. You can see the blues, and this is my favorite look for Batman. This in black with the like what we're getting from Mafex like next year. Those two, and then like the Neil Adams like having the yellow around the symbol. That is like, those are my top three. Those are like my top three bat suits. But just we got the arm things, which these are very pliable, so you don't have to worry too much about breaking these. But just be careful you don't stab yourself or whatever. And then, that's a problem we'll get into in a minute. Okay. There's not really a whole lot of detail on the belt, but it's, nicely sculpted. This whole figure is nicely sculpted. The bat is, like, sculpted into the chest, which is pretty good. Here's the cape. Here's the big flowing friggin' cape. And now going over accessories, Batman comes with 2 cape gripping hands, comes with 2 fists, 2 batarang hands that have molded batarangs into them, aka trying to be like Catwoman kind of hands, which is neat. And these suckers were a pain in the ass to get off and get on. He comes with 2 really splayed out hands that I use for this pose. Use them for this pose. As you can see, I have them on the outside though, so you can actually see how the hands look, but I usually tuck the cape over. So something little like that, So he just can prop up the cape as he's gliding down. Which, speaking of gliding, I actually had a point with this cape where I dropped him like maybe 6-7 inches and he glided. Like, I heard the wind go underneath his cape and he just kind of went and just like landed on my lap. He comes with 2 batarang holding hands and then 2 sets of these batarangs. He comes with 2 of these and then 2 of these. These kind of remind me more so of wingdings. Like, is that just me? Also, what is that line in the middle of Batman's chest right now? What the heck is that? Is that just it's just a crease in his chest. I was like, what the hell? I thought maybe there was a weird thing going on with it. But yeah, do you guys think these look like wingdings a little bit? Just a little bit. Just from what my brain kind of remembers as wingdings, which kind of gets me on the thing. I hope we get a Nightwing from this, because that would be, oh man, that'd be amazing. He also comes with 2 relaxed hands, or you could like use them as like he's gesturing to talk, or he's going into his utility belt, or he's going "Milady" to Catwoman, like, may I have your may I have your hand in marriage kind of thing, I gotta zoom all the way out for this one. He comes with 2 grappling hook hands, or grapple gun hands, and you can switch these out, but you have one that's just kind of like the getting ready to fire it, and then there's the one that is in like mid-fire, and this is a like metal wire. It's not like, it's a metal rod. It's not a metal wire. I kind of wish it was a metal wire. It would have been kind of cool if it was like the same kind of wire they have in the cape, so you could bend it around. You might be able to bend it, but do that at your own risk, because it probably will snap, honestly, given that it's not super pliable like the cape wire. It'd be really cool if it was, though. I'd like to see someone modify that in some way. Like, it probably wouldn't be that hard to take that one and then, or just even take this one and like snip it off or whatever, and then put on one of those little wires. It really wouldn't be that difficult. I'm not going to do it myself. May do it with the black Batsuit Batman, the one when we're getting that variant of it next year. Maybe, I don't know, haven't thought about it. They may even take like into consideration, be like, oh, people wanted that with this, so let's do that. Since it's pretty much just a re-release, but then there's like a couple of new things with it, like the base and that. They might be like, well, since we're cutting costs and we're just reusing the same mold, why don't we give them an extra thing, Batman also comes with 2 heads, or 3 heads and 2 necks, technically. But so technically you could just say it's a head and a neck, and then a head and a neck, and then a spare head for that head and neck. This is the first one. It's the very stoic head, the very, I'm Batman, I'm about to ruin your whole freaking day kind of thing. Let's get that out of, I can't really get that out of that, can I? The shadow, like that. That's all right. Well, there's that one. And then we have, well, here's the peg first. It's a very thin peg. It's very tight on mine, so if you get this, be careful with it. You don't want to accidentally snap the neck peg. And the second head that he comes with is the angry, you've pissed me off, I'm gonna ruin your day even more kind of thing. Like the, oh, I don't kill people, but I'm gonna give you violent brain injuries. You know how Batman is. And I like this head. This is a pretty good head. Some angles it kind of looks like he's laughing, which is really strange. Like, I don't know if I can do it on, like, get it on camera, but there's like, it kind of looks like he has like 3 different faces for this head. It's so weird. It's got like the angry head, it's got the I'm kind of constipated head, and then the like kind of laughing head. And I'm not quite sure like what angle I need to have it at to show you guys that, but if you have it in person, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I just thought I'd show you guys. When you pop the head and neck off, you can kind of see it in there a little bit. There's like the engineering of the shoulders and how the head sits in there. It's kind of hard to see without a lot of light on it, but yeah. And this very well may be my favorite accessory, because we don't usually get that many Bruce Wayne heads, you know, like normally, especially like with Mafex and stuff, normally with like domestic stuff, we never get a Bruce Wayne or a Bruce Wayne head or anything like that. But when it comes to like imports, we usually get, from Mafex at least, it's you get a Batman and then maybe you get a Bruce Wayne, which I say maybe, but we have gotten Bruce Waynes. Like we've got the Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne, we've got the Dark Knight Rises Bruce Wayne, but you don't get, with the Batmans, you don't get unmasked heads. So it's pretty cool to get this, because you can switch those out. But like if you don't really want to do that, you literally have to spend like 80 to 90, to $100 even to get just a head, And also some pictures that I've seen, no one's done it yet. I don't know why no one's done it yet. I don't have the figure personally, but I've seen that they're roughly like the same height-ish. I don't know how the pegs line up or anything like that, but you probably could do it, is put this head on the John Wick body. So you could have a comic book Bruce Wayne, which would be so cool. And I don't know why no one's done that yet, and I hope someone does it. If you're out, if someone's watching this and you have that Mafex John Wick, and then you buy this, like post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, post it on Twitter, whatever, post it on everything. So it'll get out, and then more people will do it and be like, oh my God, I can do a Bruce Wayne. Because it'd be cool to have like a picture of like, Batman's, the bat suit, and then you have Bruce Wayne walking up to it or whatever. Like the scene in Batman vs. Superman, when Ben Affleck's Batman walks up and looks at his suit and then has that like just face of just, I hate being Batman, but it's what I have to do kind of thing. But this head looks very nice. It kind of looks a little bit like a cartoony Robert Pattinson, if I'm going to be honest, a little bit, like at certain angles. It's because of the nose, the way the nose comes down in that. It looks like, it looks like the Hush Batman, like unmistakably, it looks just like that. But it really looks like if you took Robert Pattinson and like the Batman, the animated series Batman, and like morphed it into one and made it cartoony, like, obviously it's cartoony anyway, but you know what I mean? But I think it looks like that a little bit, it's pretty cool. I think it looks a lot like him. I'm very excited for the Superman, and I wish we were getting a like Selena Kyle head for the Catwoman, but we're not. But that's not really that big of a deal. Just look at that. It's wonderful. I wish I could get Leia a little better, but that's just chef's kiss. It's beautiful. Now let's take a look at the articulation. So the head can go up. The head peg for mine is very tight, so it can go about that far without using the peg, and then pretty much without using the top joint at all. It goes that far down, that far up, that far to the side, and then with the top joint it actually rotates a little bit, and then all that good stuff. So, and then if you want to, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do it this way. Let's do that. So you can kind of see there's a butterfly joint up in there, but arm can go up that far, which is pretty good. Can rotate all the way around if you wanted to. You just got to watch out for the cape. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go up pretty far actually. Normal Mafex hinges, so you can rotate it and then go up and down if you want to just twist the peg in there. So let's move the cape out of the way real quick so we can do the torso articulation. And then I'll look at that. Arms can go up higher than Shazam, which is so good. So rotation at the top, pretty good. It gets a little gappy at times, but not bad. Can't really go that far forward with it. You can go very far back with it. Can you go far forward with it? You can go actually decent far forward with it. And then it rotates and all that stuff. And then with the, here, we'll just do them all together. So going forward all the way, there you go, there's that. Goes pretty far forward. Goes pretty far back, which is, I think is pretty good. Rotation, obviously both of them have rotation. This one's a little tight on the bottom though, so be careful about that. And then obviously tilt to the side and everything like that, the standard. Now legs can go out better than Spider-Man, which at least better than the one that's supposed to be releasing now, which at Walmart I saw Electro and Daredevil, but they didn't have anyone else. It's just I was too late. I was so close yet so far, but not that bad. Pretty good out. Ooh, very tight joints. Very tight joints. God, that's the first time that's happened. That's the first time I tried to move the legs out that far too. So just be careful. You can hear the. You can go that far forward. Jesus. You can go that far back, and then rotate at the thighs. Double jointed knees. Go up that far. Yep, we'll get to that too. If you can go that far back, that far forward. Rotation, because it's standard Mafex joints at the wrist, at the ankles as well. And then toe joint, which I freaking hate. We'll get into that as well. Now, going over the articulation, now going over the problems that I have with this figure. So the neck joint is a little tight, which is actually not bad to a degree. It's good because then you can pop this off very easily and get the Bruce Wayne head and neck on, but it does make it a bit of a problem when you want to move this head around, because it's a very thin peg and I'm afraid that I'm gonna end up stressing it and breaking it. But if you wanted to, you could try to pop the neck peg out and then heat it up a little bit or loosen it a little bit and then put it back in, and you won't have any problems. So that's just one thing that I have right out of the box. Problem that I have. The elbows and the knees have this problem where, I'll show you with them both, but if you try to do that, you bend the elbow and then you try to put it back and it sticks, which is a problem because you don't want it to break. You just kind of have to like push the elbow in a little bit to do that. And then same with the knee. You can see when I try to come back out, it sticks up here. So you just kind of push the kneecap in a little bit and then kind of push the back of the thigh so it pushes that plastic forward, so then you can just get it back in. So yeah. And then also every time I try to put him in like a neutral stance, his legs can't go all the way like neutral, like a neutral pose. So every time you try to like do it, you can just kind of like push down a little bit and his legs just kind of just come out from under him. So he just pretty much bends his knees, and that's not too big of a deal, not too much of a deal breaker, but just, something of note. He's also, I don't know what is going on with his legs, but there's just something off. Like, you guys can kind of see it. He's tilting to one side, and I thought maybe it was the torsos, but the torso, but it's not. I don't know exactly what it is. I think that maybe one of these legs is higher up inside the crotch than the other leg. But then obviously, my normal gripe that I have with every Mafex figure, every DC figure now, actually, since McFarlane's doing it too, is toe joint. Why? Toe joints are stupid. Toe and finger joints suck. They are the worst joints. Why would you ever do those? Why would you ever want to make those a joint? It makes them so hard to stand figures, because if the toe joints loose, they just fall flat on their freaking faces, and it irritates the ever-living fuck. Here he is next to the DC Icons Hush Nightwing, and then the DC Icons normal Harley. And I think this actually works pretty well. I think that when we, hopefully we'll, I think with how popular she is, I can't imagine they wouldn't, pass up the opportunity to make a Mafex Harley Quinn. So I think we'll get that, and I think we should get Nightwing as well. Now here he is next to the DC Icons figures of Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, and Deathstroke. And, I mean, other than Superman, these kind of work. You could fudge it. Deathstroke especially, you could really fudge that, but I hope we get a Deathstroke. And now here he is alongside the Justice League Mafex Batman and Superman, and I actually think this kind of works. This is okay. I still think Aquaman's a little tall for the movie figures, but I think actually this kind of works here. All three of them together right now kind of works. Now comparing him to other lines, here we have the DC Multiverse Killer Crockwave Alfred, and he's obviously very tall, but you'll see at the end of this in the pictures that I have that I did some forced perspective, and it actually kind of works. But this, here's the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Duke figure. This actually works. So like if you wanted to do this as like a Rick Flag, I was looking at him a couple days ago and I was like, he could be a good Rick Flag base actually. And now here he is next to the Mezco 112 Jim Gordon and my custom Bane. And this actually works. I mean, Mezco Gordon, he's a little tall, but forced perspective. Forced perspective is the way, man. I mean, I already spoiled it for you, but you guys know what I'm gonna say. Overall, I love this figure. I mean, most of the figures that I get, I love. I mean, despite the problems that it has, like the elbows and the knees, they're not that big of a deal. The legs kind of being tight, like my Mafex Superman, is a little bit of a problem, but not like too big to the point where it's like something that constantly like makes me go, oh man, I can't believe that this is like this. I hate this thing on it, But it, despite all the things that, like the few things that I don't really care for about the figure, they're not deal breakers for me in the slightest. And I'm full steam ahead, man. We got Batman, now on to Superman. I cannot wait to get Superman and Catwoman. They are going to be so freaking fantastic. And Let me know what you guys think about the review down in the comments below. And let me know if you have any questions about the figure that I can, try to answer for you to help, either persuade or dissuade you from getting this, whatever your prerogative is, I will try to help with any questions you guys have about the figure. And I love this figure, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya. Also, quick note, this actually kind of works. I know that he's a little tall. He's a little too tall, but some fudging, you could do it.